Greetings and salutations. In the world of Pentagon spending, what does $43 million get you? A new missile? A better retirement program for veterans? How about a natural gas station in Afghanistan? If you guessed the gas station, Hawk Watchers, then you win this week's game of what the hell did they spend my tax dollars on? Yes, according to a new report by the Special Inspector General for Afghan Reconstruction, back in 2011, our frugal friends in the Defense Department spent 43 million taxpayer dollars on a natural gas filling station in Shibaragan, Afghanistan, under the guise of demonstrating the commercial viability of using compressed natural gas for Afghan cars. The station was part of a broader effort by the Pentagon's Task Force for Business and Stability Operations to show the viability of tapping into the country's large natural gas reserves rather than importing petroleum. Except Cigar points out that the task force failed to study the feasibility of such a project, especially when you consider that the $700 price tag to convert an Afghan's car to compressed natural gas is a little more than what an average Afghanistan citizen makes in an entire year. Not to mention the fact that the cost of building the same gas station in neighboring Pakistan costs around 500 grand. So where, oh where, did this extra $42.5 million go? Let's find out and start watching the Hawks.
If you want to know what's going on in your city and your streets, never back down like Tyrell, and the truth is what you seek. To analyze, investigate from the bottom to the top. You speak your mind like Sean Stone, whether they like it or not. I got Tabitha, Miss Wallace, with the wisdom and the pearl. Between the outrage and the evidence, what's going on in this world?
Watching the Hawks, watching the Hawks, watching the Hawks. Listen when they talk.
Welcome everybody to Watching the Hawks. I am Tyrell Ventura.
I am Tabitha Wallace.
And I'm Sean Stone.
Ooh, wow, man, let's get right into this. Sean, can you break us down where this $42 million was spent?
The extra $42.5 million.
The extra $42.5 million.
Well, I don't think anyone at this point can quite figure that one out because, according to Cigar, the Task Force for Stability and Business Operations, the TFBSO you mentioned in the beginning, awarded a $3 million contract to Central Asian Engineering, which is a private construction company, to build a station on land belonging to the Afghan Ministry of Mines and Petroleum. So they ended up spending $12 million in construction costs in this small little gas station in the middle of nowhere, and $30 million in overhead between 2011 and 2014, at which point they finished it, turned it over to this other company called Kashgari Oil and Gas Services, which doesn't seem to have a business license in Afghanistan currently. So if we figure out who actually owns Kashgari or this Central Asian construction company, you might be just getting hot in the trail of where this money ended up going, which frankly looks very suspicious to me, and it's a great way of financing private armies or facilitating all kinds of drugs and guns operations. I mean, who knows?
Well, anybody who watched Breaking Bad knows, you know, gas stations and car washes are a great way to launder money. You can imagine in the middle of Afghanistan or in the middle of Pakistan, it'd be pretty easy to sort of
launder a little money.
There's nothing shady about a $43 million gas station.
No,
that doesn't work.
That normally costs about
crazy?
$200,000 to $500,000 around in like other areas.
In a province of 500,000 people, in the far north of Afghanistan, not even near a major city, where there are about 250 vehicles that are actually using this kind of natural gas to run.
Seems reasonable.
And the cost for, like I said, the cost for the average Afghanistan citizen to actually convert his car to this compressed natural gas is about the same that he makes an entire year.
So what's the Pentagon say? Like, what is
well,
the
it's interesting. So, you know, to date, the DoD has been unable to provide documentation showing why this gas station cost nearly $43 million.
Color me shocked.
When Cigar asked to account for this spending, Principal Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, you got those long names there, for Defense Policy, Brian P. McCain, told Cigar that the closure of the TFBSO in March 2015 and departure of all of its employees have resulted in the Office of the Secretary of Defense no longer possessing the personal expertise to address these questions or to assess properly the TFBSO information and documentation. So the TFBSO is no longer in the Pentagon, so no one can tell them anything about this program, apparently.
Right. So we don't know where the money went. No one knows where the paperwork is. I'm not in charge of that. That was the old guy. No, but really?
Yes, that's the best they got.
Okay, you know what? If I was overseeing a campaign for any of the presidents, I would absolutely tell them, you know what, go out and tell them audit. Stop talking about auditing the Fed. Audit the Pentagon. Well, you have $43 million like that. It's ridiculous because it's either incompetency, or it's nefarious malfeasance. There's either something going on, or they're just not capable of doing their job so badly that they lose $42.5 million like that.